Hi friend, it's Amy Tangerine. I wasn't going to share this journal spread at first, which is why I'm starting to film this after I've already laid down this foundation. However, as I was painting and going through the swarm of thoughts in my head, I realized that I want to explore being uncomfortable and the power of awareness of our own self-worth and seeking help so that we can live a more meaningful and full life. It's something I've been exploring lately, and all signs have been pointing to me sharing this process for some reason, although it's totally uncomfortable. There is a bit of vagueness to the journaling and what I will be talking about, but more on that later, and it's mainly because it's a lot to process and unravel. I found one of the bits from a collection of mine from the past, that little peacock, and I thought it was perfect for this spread. I loved that it wasn't planned at all. None of this was planned. I was just sort of playing, which is another reason I wasn't going to share about this. So I'm taking Tombow adhesive and I'm putting it on the back of this clear die cut. You can see that there's some watercolor in the background. There's also that circle which I tore part of to paste down, and then washi tape at the bottom. This Elevate Your Everyday and The Possibilities Are Endless are actually from a piece of mail that we got. I'm not even sure what company sent it, but I thought it was fun to include. And I looked at my desk and found this Tatley tattoo. I'm not even sure where I got it, but it says, "Thinking of a Master Plan." Why isn't it focusing? Okay, and I thought it'd be fun to share the fact that you can use temporary tattoos in your paper projects. I'm taking a wet piece of paper towel and I'm going to peel back the clear film. And what I decided to do here, if I had actually planned on doing this, I would have planned it a little bit better. What I really wanted was for the words to go on both pages, similar to the way the half circle, the pink half circle is. So instead of turning it over like a smart person, I simply cut it, and it would have been better to cut with the clear piece too, and then have this perfectly lined up and placed, because it is a little bit sticky as soon as you put it down. So I don't know if you can actually move it. Then I'm taking the wet paper towel, it's just wet with water, and dabbing it the way you would if you were applying it to skin. And you just want to make sure your coverage is even, make sure all of the letters are nice and wet, and that way you can make sure the transfer is going to be nice and even. I missed a little corner of this A, which is what you're going to see me try to make up for here, but apparently it didn't quite work out. So then you'll want to peel this back and be careful as you're peeling, because you can see, oh, there we go. You can see where the transfer is really nice and flat. So I'm peeling this back, and then there's a little part where that A just has some of the backing paper on it. So I'm just getting it wet, and it worked out. It ended up working out except for the crease or the dent or whatever you want to call that middle of the page of a book. And I'm taking a pen and simply going in and filling in a little bit of the space. You don't need to do that. I don't really even like the result after I did it, but look, this is just a journaling spread that I was playing around with, and it turned out that I'm using elements that I just had laying around. Something else that I had laying around was this magazine, and I wanted to go ahead and pull things out of it that I thought were inspiring and possible to include. Although I have to say that during this process, what I realized is that sometimes when I'm doing uncomfortable journaling, or if I'm writing something that I don't necessarily want to share, I either go ahead and do it, or what I'm doing here is I'm actually distracting myself, because I'm looking for the right words, or words that will help me put my thoughts into somewhat of a coherence. And I wanted to approach it in a way that was really beautiful, but then also I love this, right? It's your heart that takes you places. I wanted to feel guided by the words that were coming at me through the magazine, and also through the fact that I was listening to a Martha Beck YouTube video while this was happening. And it was very serendipitous because as I'm going through things, she ended up saying this quote that I didn't know I was going to include, because as I said before, I started this with some watercolors and these watercolor brush markers actually from Altenew. And this is the way I did it. I took a paintbrush with water and just sort of mixed it around, and I mixed a few colors. And I've showed you this technique before. I think if you've seen any of my previous videos, then you've seen that I have done it. This is a Tombow Funosuke, I think that's how you pronounce it, black pen. And it was so crazy because part of the journaling that I was going through in my head was really uncomfortable. And Martha Beck happened to, I'll link the YouTube video below, happened to say this quote that was jumping out at me, and it resonated so fully as I was putting the spread together. And it's this quote that says, "Discomfort is the price of admission to a meaningful life." And this is a quote by Susan David, and she ended up actually, I think, saying it twice. But I also wanted to get it down, and I really want to encourage you to get hard things down on paper. It's uncomfortable, and it can be, and there's a bit of vagueness to the journaling and what I'm talking about in this video, mainly because there's so much to process and unravel, as I said before, and I really appreciate you giving me grace and space to try and keep this as light as possible, right? I will be doing this in a vague sort of way, partially because I'm just starting to embark on something new and uncharted that feels very scary. And I'm using this really fun sticker from Chrissy-Ann Designs with, it's a collaboration, I think, with Cindy. And I love that face, because that's how I felt this morning when I was going through this. I think that the support of this community means so much. I'm just outlining this here because I want to keep it within that face. I really am just so proud of myself for making this happen. And I want to record the date by using this date stamp, but the year has already passed. So I went to the blank space for the year and just went with March 20th. I love that I'm able to share hard things with you all and also creatively process things through this channel. It means so much to me. I recognized through the help of my therapist and a couple of people close to me that I have some unprocessed grief that I would like to gain some healing around. It's time. And though my therapist and mentors are super helpful, I'm also needing some other support systems and will process what I can through creative journaling as well. So I'm trying to keep this as light as possible while also sharing some hard, heavy, personal things because I need this creative outlet. And in doing so, perhaps you'll feel not so alone if you're going through some difficult times as well. None of us are immune to heartache or loss. We can all use a little bit more strength and support along our journey. Whew. I think this community is just so wonderful and encouraging, empathetic, and understanding. So thank you. I found this sticker that I had cut out from the March printable for Map Your Month. And it's really sort of timely because I recognize in all the struggle and what I am going through I really have so much to smile about. The gratitude that I hold can live alongside something that's hard. And when I explore my spiritual growth and what self-worth means to me, I actually sort of cry inside a little bit, because I know so many women in my life who abandon their own self-worth to try to save others or to try to prioritize other people ahead of themselves. And they do it out of love and compassion, and though it comes from great intentions, it sometimes does not serve them or the people they think they are helping. That's where the power of self-worth comes in. It's important to recognize that we are valuable and worthy of love and respect, no matter what challenges we face. By cultivating a strong sense of self-worth, we can build resilience and overcome obstacles with greater ease. Then we can also model that for others so that they can see there's another way of being when we don't feel strong or when they don't feel strong. And heck, we should do it for ourselves and our spiritual growth as humans anyway. I'll read you the journaling. I did something scary today. Although totally uncomfortable and not what I wanted to prioritize, I'm so proud of myself. It's been on my radar for several years, and today was the day I took the leap. Let it begin with me. It is okay to have pain and unprocessed grief. The steps I am taking for my mental health and well-being are essential. I'm being guided by my heart and higher power for this journey of healing, forgiveness, and serenity. And underneath strength, self-worth, spiritual growth, I'm writing, no matter what the catalyst was for your evolution and reinvention, allow it into your life and then embrace it as best as you can. So while the journey towards healing and self-discovery can be uncomfortable and challenging, it's ultimately rewarding and can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Does any of this resonate with you? Let me know in the comments, as I love hearing from you amazing Tangerines, and hit that like button too, and subscribe if you haven't already. By embracing discomfort, celebrating small victories, creating a master plan, taking charge of our own lives, and cultivating self-worth, we can overcome any obstacle and live our best lives. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope that you found something helpful or inspiring in this video. I'm taking some last-minute touches here to just outline this part of the journaling. And what's really neat, and I think that it's so serendipitous, is I thought I was done with this until I came across this piece from the March printable that is perfect for right here. And it says, believe that the best is yet to come. So I'm putting some adhesive behind it, and I find that the colors are so perfect, even though I didn't really use any blue or purple much in the spread. It goes with the washi tape that's at the bottom. It goes with the peacock. I am just loving the way this turned out, and I am grateful that I have the opportunity to share things with you, even if they're scary. So thanks as always for watching, and I hope you feel inspired to get those creative juices flowing.